Hello and welcome back to Let's Talk Movies. If you are new here, please like and subscribe for future content. Women and in big action franchises. It's nothing new. It has actually been around since the early 70s, and we're going to go through a few of them now. We're going to start off with Alien. Sigourney Weaver and Ridley Scott's 1979 science fiction masterpiece. Okay, so it was released in 1979, and obviously you had Aliens, Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, and then obviously you had the Alien vs Predator movies, and Prometheus, and then Covenant. So, all these films together, they have got a combined worldwide take of $1.5 billion. And that's been a woman in every single film. Apart from, I would say, Alien vs Predator Requiem, mostly because it had a few different ones, but obviously that was more just like a band of people coming together. But obviously you see, with all the other Alien films, it's been Ripley in all four. It was Shaw in Prometheus, and then it was Daniels in Covenant, all played by women. So, $1.5 billion, the box office, which is no small sum, and that is absolutely fantastic for a little series that first started out as a $11 to $15 million just normal space film because Fox wanted to get something out there because Star Wars done so well the year and a half before. And that's what the actual story was. They had this little story just floating around. Dan O'Bannon, he was there to go, well, I got a little space story if you want it. And that's when he showed Alien. Obviously, it was originally called Star Beast. So, that's the first one we're going to look at. And obviously, massive box office. Sigourney Weaver had praise. She was even nominated for a Best Actress Oscar for Aliens, the second film directed and written by James Cameron, who actually gets mentioned more than once in this video. But obviously the Aliens films, well written for the female characters, brilliant films all around. Even the less so, not the less so stellar box office ones. So obviously you are looking at like the Alien vs Predator films, Resurrection, and obviously Alien 3, which is the much mangled one because David Fincher left halfway through and so many issues with Alien 3, but Alien 3 is still actually quite a good film. And obviously they pit Ripley in the circumstances they're in are very unfriendly. Obviously Alien 3 was a male prison, so obviously even a female took it out and stood amongst them all, and obviously that's amazing. So we're going to move on now to our next one, and our next one is actually going to be Terminator. So, obviously, Sarah Connor, created and written by James Cameron, the man who was well known for writing strong female characters. But a lot of the press this day and age, they won't let you believe that because they think no one's ever written a strong female character before. So, Sarah Connor. Fair enough, she was only in the first two, but then she reappeared in Terminator Genisys. And from there onwards, the first Terminator film, it's, fair enough. It only made $78 million worldwide, but remember, this is 1984 when the Terminator first arrived. 1984, Sarah Connor, she was brilliant. She started out as a normal person, just a normal waitress, just trying to get by in the world. No worries, nothing. Then all of a sudden, the Sarah Connor start dying around her. So she, obviously then you get Kyle Reese, the guy who's come back from the future to save her. And obviously you got Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's what the future films kind of went for. Terminator 3, Terminator Salvation, and to an extent, Terminator Genisys. But Terminator 1 and Terminator 2, the story is Sarah Connor's, no one else's. You could say you have an argument that Terminator 2 Judgment Day is in fact her son, but it's not John Connor, it's Sarah Connor's a story. Basically Even though Terminator 2 starts off with John and obviously, trying to get there and Arnie getting to him. But once they pick up Sarah Connor, that's it. She turns into a Terminator herself. Just a killing machine, which is absolutely brilliant. And I love the Terminator franchise, and say Terminator 2 is in my top 3 favourite films ever. And Sarah Connor is one of my all-time favourite characters. Our next one we're going to go to is Resident Evil. So far, obviously, there's been 6 Resident Evil films. Well, actual main films. We got Damnation on here, just because I was actually released in cinemas worldwide. Milla Jovovich. Brilliant actress, no matter what she's been in. Obviously, she's been in a lot of big action films as well herself. Obviously, you got Resident Evil, but you also have The Fifth Element, and you also got the epic Joan of Arc. When the first Resident Evil film came out, it was huge, to be honest with you. I think it was like a $30 or $40 million budget, and people were thinking it's not going to make much money, but it made $103 million worldwide. Back then, obviously, it was like, wow, it was a fantastic. I still love the entire series. The only one I'm not too fan of is Extinction, the third film, the one that's set in the desert. But going through them all, Milla Jovovich, she kicks ass them all. She's front and center. She's, again, a strong-willed character. And even when she's in Retribution, when you see her as a mother, and obviously no one knows what's going on, and she just wakes up as the clone, it's just fantastic work. Paul W.S. Anderson, he does get a lot of shit for his films, but he's British as well, which is like, come on, man, you can make some good-ass films, which he has. Event Horizon, another brilliant movie, The Shining in space, basically. The Resident Evil films, who had Soldier. There's tons of films, and obviously Milla is married to him, so she's been in the majority of his films as well. And the majority of his films, she does have the starring role, which, how brilliant is that? If there's anyone to be an advocate for female in action films, just go to Paul Anderson. He'll tell you, he writes most of his films with his wife in mind. So, you got those films, and obviously $1.2 billion worldwide. I actually kind of forgot with, say, the Terminator films, they have made $1.8 billion worldwide, but when you look at Terminator 2 and just the Terminator, you are looking roughly at $600 million. But again, no, sorry, $700 million, not 7, not 6. But you can't really count Terminator 3 or Salvation because she's not really in them, and they're really counting on Arnie. So, going from there onwards, we do have Underworld, another fantastic female-led action series. And obviously, again, you have a brilliant actress in it. You got Kate Beckinsale. She's the main star of the entire franchise. And she's a kick-ass vampire slayer, man. And a werewolf slayer. First of all, obviously, Underworld were the first one. It was a bit of a smash out of nowhere. It was a bit of a box office surprise. And then gradually it just went up until obviously you had Blood Wars, which kind of died down. So you had, that's a total of 539 million. Call it 540 million. That's $500 million straight away there, All those films are brilliant. She kicked ass in them. And she showed the world that females can kick ass as well. Another thing as well is you can also look at, say, the Kill Bill films, the Kill Bill franchise. Absolutely brilliant, and when you see, obviously Kill Bill was made because, it was made because Quentin Tarantino wanted it to be a female kick-ass, and that's what he done. He wanted a kick-ass character, which is done by one woman, and that's what he done. Absolutely fantastic film. I actually prefer the second one to the first one, even though the first one is more of an action film. The second one is more Tarantino style. And obviously, it's just the way it goes on. Tarantino delayed the production of the film because Uma Thurman became pregnant as shooting was just about to begin. And he goes, no, we need to wait for her. Although the scenes are presented on chronological order, the film was actually shot in sequence, which is very different for this day and age. That's hardly ever done. But if you want to look at other films, you know, you got The Matrix, where you got Trinity, played by Carrie-Anne Moss. She was a fantastic person in that film, and she played a massive hacker, which actually at the beginning of that film, if you notice, when she says to Neo who she is, it actually, you know, she goes, "Oh, I'm Trinity," and he went, "Oh, Trinity, or, you know, sort of such and such a place, the one who hacked the DB database," and she's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Wow, I thought you were a guy." You know, so again, that's straight away throwing in that, oh, you know, it's a guy who's done this because only guys can do it. And that's what Neo's character was. He was very stubborn, and even though he was a computer genius, he still didn't really think of other things in the world, like obviously women can be hackers. But it's there. So if you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we'll see your faces in the next video.